Terror threats against Oklahoma City. Officials try to get into the mind of the Vegas shooter and celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month in our studio. This is OU Nightly. Today is the third day after the worst shooting massacre in modern U.S. history. I'm Shea Smith.
And I'm Abby Green. But here at home, a similar threat occurred. Oklahoma City police arrested a man after he made a terrorist threat against Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Roderick Robinson posted threatening messages on Facebook, proclaiming he would drive to San Antonio and shoot those who messed up his front yard back when he used to live there. The 39-year-old also stated on his Facebook post that he would kill everyone on sight and that he was on drugs. Oklahoma City police arrested Robinson a few hours after they were alerted of the posts. This isn't Robinson's first run-in with the law. In 1998, Robinson was convicted of phoning in a bomb threat back in Norman. Back in 2009, Robinson was arrested for making a bomb threat at a federal office in Oklahoma City. Robinson walked up to a security guard and handed him a handwritten letter stating there was a bomb in his backpack and a car outside. According to police, the notes were a ploy to steal money. Robinson is being held at Oklahoma County Jail for a terroristic hoax.
And the FBI questioned the gunman's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, today in Los Angeles. Danley, who is being called a person of interest, was in the Philippines at the time of the shooting. She'd been there for more than 2 weeks. The shooter, Stephen Paddock, encouraged his live-in girlfriend to leave the country before the shooting that left 59 people dead. Officials hope that Danley will shed some light on a motive and fill in some of the missing pieces. Paddock wired $100,000 to the Philippines and bought more than $10,000 in casino chips before Sunday night. Investigators are trying to trace the money and are looking into his recent financial reports. Now, Sammi Steele joins us now in the News Center with an update on President Trump's press conference from Las Vegas today on Sunday's massacre. Sammi.
That's right, Shea. President Trump is in Las Vegas today visiting the victims at the hospital, first responders and police who are all coping in the aftermath of the deadliest shooting in modern U.S. history. He spoke earlier this afternoon at a news conference from Vegas.
Words cannot describe the bravery that the whole world witnessed on Sunday night. Americans defied death and hatred with love and with courage.
When asked about gun laws, Trump emphasized that he is not going to talk about the issue right now. Speaking of gun laws, more information on the gunman behind the massacre. 64-year-old Stephen Paddock is coming out. Paddock bought 33 firearms, mostly rifles, last year, according to an ATF Bureau spokesperson. Police recovered 23 guns from Paddock's 32nd floor hotel room and 19 guns from Paddock's home 80 miles away in Mesquite, Nevada. And in Washington, the discord between the president and his chief diplomat continues at an all-time high following an NBC News report that Secretary of State Rex Tillerson called the president a, quote, moron at a Pentagon meeting. In a hastily arranged news conference this morning, Tillerson dismissed but did not deny the report.
But the places I come from, we don't deal with that kind of petty nonsense. And it is intended to do nothing but divide people. And I'm just not going to be part of this effort to divide this administration.
And CNN reports confirmed that President Trump knew about the insult prior to the NBC story, but still tweeted it was, quote, fake news and called on NBC to apologize. And Abby, in lighter news on the deadly Vegas shooting, more than $8.5 million has been raised on a GoFundMe page that will go to the shooting's victims.
Thanks, Sammi. Just 3 days after the Las Vegas shooting, many people are asking why guns are so readily, easily inaccessible. Across the nation, the rise in gun sales in the last 2 days is attributed to the shooting in Las Vegas. But one Norman shop thinks the rise in sales is due to the start of deer season. The rise in gun sales isn't the real question. It's whether or not the regulations for purchasing a gun are enough. One group that is still working hard to trim these regulations is the NRA. One senator feels it's time to do something about that.
The reason we don't have gun safety measures in the United States today is because of the NRA, and we will defeat them. They are already losing their grip, and we can break their stranglehold on legislation.
President Trump said any issues regarding gun control will be talked about in the future. And Norman PD confirmed that a threatening text message was part of a national hoax. Norman High School and Norman North High School increased police presence after a threatening text last night. There were also threats of violence at Omaha, Nebraska public schools, and district officials said other school districts have also received similar threats in that area. Officers said they don't believe that the threat was credible, but are taking precaution. The FBI is now investigating the incident as part of the national hoax. And Leah joins us here with weather.
Thanks, guys. We have lots going on right now. We have a flash flood warning currently in effect, and that extends from the Norman all the way up through the Tulsa and Bartlesville area. This is due to a lot of rain that we are just seeing to continue to track over our area. Upwards in Tulsa, they're seeing a lot of torrential rain there as well. We have received some reports of flooding in that area just due to this rain just continues to track over this area. Also a lot of flooding going on in the Norman and Oklahoma City. Jenkins currently near the university is flooded. We just received a report about that, and it does look like it is going to continue more this evening. I have that coming up for you in a little bit. I'm also going to talk to you a bit about your game day forecast and when this next cold front is going to be coming through. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Leah. And still ahead on OU Nightly, one of Oklahoma's leading industry could see a decline.
Plus, an in-studio interview for National Hispanic Heritage Month. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Harlee Toothman is in studio to talk about National Hispanic Heritage Month. Harlee?
September 15th through October 15th is National Hispanic Heritage Month. Maria Rendon, the chair of these activities, is here with us. Thank you for joining.
No problem.
So why is it important for us to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, Harlee, Hispanic Heritage Month is just kind of a nationwide celebration that lasts from September 15th through October 15th, as you said, where we all get a chance as the Hispanic community here in the United States to celebrate the rich culture that not only we have in our own countries, but that we've contributed to the United States as well. We get a chance to, take pride in the contributions that we've made to not only Latin American history, but U.S. and world history as well, in art, in technology, in education, and it's just really exciting to have a month or week and a time and a space where we can just celebrate each other and celebrate our culture.
Absolutely. So I understand there are some events going on this week, including one tomorrow, so can you kind of explain what's going on?
Right, and so during these past few days, from starting on September 15th, we've had just a couple of events going on just to kind of bring the community together. Our event tomorrow is called Poems and Picasso, where we're having poems and spoken words recited by members of our community here at OU, and some of them have been written by OU students, and some have been written by other poems and Hispanic poets in Hispanic literature as well. And we're going to be kind of doing like a dine-in palette, so to speak. So where we're going to have food available, and we're going to be imitating one of Picasso's famous paintings.
Awesome. So what events can we expect for all of next week to wrap up Hispanic Heritage Month?
Right, next week is our last week of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going out with a bang. We have 3 events that are going to be coming up. Our first one on Tuesday, we're going to have what we're calling our Nerd Showcase, which is going to be a trivia night, where we're looking into trivia that discusses Latinos who are famous, Latinos who are activists, Latinos who are in our history, as well as just fun facts about our culture and our community.
Awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I think we're all looking forward to some of those events, and we will go back to you guys in the studio.
Great, thank you, Harlee. Student Government Association President J.D. Baker presented his 4 nominees for Congress approval to be a part of the committee selection of President David Boren's successor. And after just 24 hours of knowing it was his decision to make Baker's selection, were approved.
And so really had to just sit back and say, okay, what is the most fair, transparent way to go about this? And what I realized is to select students who have already been elected by other students at large, such as the SJ Vice President, such as the Congress Chair, the SJ Graduate Student Senate Chair, and the Student Bar Association President. So all these individuals have been elected to serve in other official capacities to represent these students already. So in such a time crunch, it's something that's already been done. So I felt those 4 individuals would be fair and good nominees. And so not only that, but we also want to approach undergraduate Congress and graduate.
While there were 4 students nominated, only 1 undergraduate and 1 graduate student will be selected to join the committee.
And Sydney joins us now with our weekly Earth Report.
Over 60 Roman Catholic organizations decided on Tuesday that they are no longer investing in fossil fuels. The coalition will stop investing in companies such as BP, Chevron, and ExxonMobil. The decision stems from Pope Francis's call to action on the fight against climate change. He says the Earth, our home, is beginning to look more and more like an immense pile of filth. The announcement comes one day before the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. St. Francis is linked with the environment, motivating the Pope's research and respect for the planet Earth. And speaking of fossil fuels, Oklahoma's oil industry could be in trouble. Economists are predicting the worldwide oil industry to peak by the year 2035 to the increase of electric cars. As of right.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Rain is just pounding us right now here in Norman. We currently have a flash flood warning in effect that extends from Norman up through the Tulsa and even the Bartlesville area. And the dew point is also really high. So on top of this rain, it is also very humid outside right now. Now, this is what the radar looks like. It is very messy. We have been having problems with the radars. They are currently down right now, so it is underplaying this rain a little bit, but it continues just to pull from the southeast. This is where those warnings are behind that. We're just going to see that continue throughout the evening tonight. It does look like we are, for the past 24 hours, we have gotten upwards of 2 inches of rain plus. A lot of rain, lots of flooding in our area. We will start to dry off as we get into the later hours of the evening. Those clouds are going to be sticking around, and that humidity will continue as well with that very light wind. As we go into your lows tonight, it is going to be a low of 68 degrees, which is way warmer than this time of year, but we do have that humidity, so it is going to feel very uncomfortable if you are going to be out and about. And then tomorrow, when that humidity is going to continue, we're going to reach a high of 85 degrees. Cloud are just going to stick around all day. Across the state, we're going to see those highs in the 80s as well. This is just a little bit above normal for this time of year. And again, it won't be a very comfortable day because of the high humidity that we will see tomorrow. Now, coming up in our radar forecast, we see this rain currently in our area right now that is going to clear out as we get into your Thursday. Thursday, the rain is going to stick mainly in the northern portion of our state, so we will be dry here in the Norman area. As we get towards Friday, however, there are some more chances of rain. It's going to be coming through late Friday night and into Saturday, but don't worry, this is not going to impact your game on Saturday. It is going to clear out by the time kickoff is at 11 o'clock. So we're going to see dry weather on Saturday, but future rain we're going to see with that. More flooding is possible. We are going to get upwards of 3 inches of rain in the Tulsa, even more upwards of ½ an inch to an inch of rain in the Norman area. As we go into next week, it is going to be dry and humid. We're going to be drying off quite a bit. Next week, temperatures are going to be dropping down as a cold front comes through next Tuesday, and we'll see temperatures in the 60s with that.
Okay, I am over this weather, but I cannot wait for the cool front to move in. I'm over the rain.
Not either. It's been too hot.
Agreed, thank you.
Thanks, Leah. And Sam Brown joins us now to talk about OU's upcoming matchup against Iowa State. Sam?
That's right, Abby. Fresh off a bye week, the Sooners have a matchup with the Cyclones this weekend. Welcome back. After a much-needed bye week, the third-ranked OU football team is back at it as they take on Iowa State on Saturday. And while a Red River showdown is right around the corner against the Longhorns, the Sooners have insisted the Cyclones are not an opponent they can afford to overlook.
You know, Lazar and Butler, they have 2, outstanding receivers, got a lot of throwing radius to them, big, long guys. And, so we're going to have to cover and stop the run game and get them in long yardage situations. And, that's going to be the key to the game, for us. So they played us well a year ago. I thought they ran the
While the football team had the weekend off, the golf team was in action at the Nike Collegiate Invitational, and they took home the gold. That's right, the Sooners took home first place this past weekend, edging out Stanford and Vanderbilt. Brad Dahlke and Blaine Hale finished tied for 7th at 8 under, while Riley Casey finished tied for 14th. The OU volleyball team has a matchup tonight at 7 against Texas Tech. The Sooners are still searching for answers after losing their 8th straight game against Baylor on Saturday. However, they will get their home field advantage back after wrapping up a 3-game road trip. Last night, the OKC Thunder took the floor for their first preseason game against the Houston Rockets. While Russell Westbrook sat out the game, Thunder fans got their first look at Carmelo Anthony and Paul George in blue and white. Melo got hot early, scoring all 19 of his points in the first half. Paul George added 15 points of his own, but in the end, the Rockets took the win, 104-97. Switching to the Diamond, the Colorado Rockies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight in the NL wildcard game. Former Sooner stud John Gray will get the start for the Sooners as he squares off against Zach Greinke. Despite missing the playoffs last year, it's not a shock that Arizona is back in the hunt this year, at least not to them. When Carson Williams covered the D-backs during spring training, manager Torey Lovulo emphasized how much they believed in themselves.
We know we won 69 games last year, and that is a motivating factor for me every day. I think the rest of the organization feels the same way. We're turning the page on what happened last year, and we're ready to go out there.
Meanwhile, the AL wildcard game took place last night as the Yankees and Twins battled it out. The two teams exchanged blows early, and neither pitcher made it to the 3rd inning. Severino for the Yankees didn't even make it out of the 1st. We move on to the 4th inning, 1 on, 1 out. All rise for the Judge. Aaron Judge with a home run to left field right there, and that is the nail in the coffin for Minnesota. The Bronx Bombers won 8-4 and advanced to the ALDS to take on the Cleveland Indians. But there was more to last night's game than all the home runs and the exhilarating feeling of playing in Yankee Stadium. Before the game started, the Yankees took a moment to honor the victims of Sunday's mass shooting in Las Vegas.
As we remember the victims of the tragedy in Las Vegas on Sunday night, let us all remember those who lost their lives, those who were injured, their families and friends, the first responders, and all those impacted by the tragedy.
You know, guys, with big sporting events like this, eventually, like the playoffs are right here for baseball, it's always nice to see teams take time to take tribute to this. It was really a special moment.
You know, especially at Yankee Stadium, which is such a well-known environment,
yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. It's historic.
And here on OU Nightly, we do have a special tribute as well at the end of our newscast, so you'll want to stick around. Thank you, Sam.
Still to come on OU Nightly, our favorite national holiday.
Time to talk about today's national holiday. It's a fiesta for taco lovers as many are celebrating National Taco Day. Taco chains across the nation are giving away free tacos and specials in honor of the holiday. So if you need an excuse to eat tacos today, then there you got it. Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great night.
Good night.